Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We're continuing on our journey of how to start a business and be successful pretty much on any budget. You can have $1 million, you can have $1,000, but you do have to have a budget. When I say a budget, you need to actually have a budget. If you're saying, I've been out of work for 6 months and I want to start a business, you're going to have a tough time with that. There are things you can do, but I don't know what to, you can be very imaginative. I know in Las Vegas or anywhere where it's warm in the summertime, if you and you still have to have some money, but you get an ice chest full of water and you go out and sell it. So you're buying it for a quarter, and selling them for $2 or whatever. I mean, you can make money doing a lot of things. You can just stand on the street corner and with your hand out. If you play an instrument, you can go out on the street and play an instrument and get people to give you money. So there's no end to how you could get money. Tonight or today on this chapter or this video, we're actually going to talk about having a business plan. And no matter what kind of a business, whether you're opening a chain of hamburger stands, you're opening a new franchise, if you're just crocheting doilies and selling them on the internet, or you're filling a tub full of water or ice with water bottles, and sell them, or you're just standing out on the street corner with your hat in your hand, no matter what your business is, you have to have a business plan. I mean, you'd have to have a business plan. You've got to know what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. So it matters not if you have money. People will say, well, I don't need a business plan because I'm just going to do this. And it's like, you're not really serious about doing whatever if you don't have a business plan. Now, I like Robert Kiyosaki, and I highly recommend. This is what I use. Now, I don't know if he's got an updated version because this is kind of old, but this is what I use to develop my business plan. And if you really want to get into the details, I would recommend this. This is of the Rich Dad Poor Dad series of books, and it's the ABCs of writing a winning business plan. So, and it's actually written by Garrett Sutton Esquire, so who is their corporate attorney. So, you're going to get good information here. So, and that's why I went with it, because you need to have the advice of an attorney. You can, like we talked about, you can incorporate, you can set up your business structure by yourself, go to LegalZoom and fill out all the paperwork. But if you've got any money at all, really get with an attorney. Get one that you can, there are different plans out there. Legal Shield is like an MLM that gives you access to attorneys. There's and have a conversation with a CPA, and those kind of things you should do before you really get too deep into anything. So as you're writing your business plan, I would highly suggest you do that. Contact an attorney about how you want to set up the business structure, a CPA, because there's a lot in the book that it'll show you, but you're going to have questions about how to set up some of the income statements and some of the things that banks want to see. Because if you want to have a, if you want to really be serious about a business, you're probably going to end up having to get a business loan. Just, because unless you just have a lot of money, you're probably going to have to go out and get a business loan. And so you're going to have to have a business plan to do that. I can tell you, if you walk into your banker and say, I'm going to start a business, and could you just give me $100,000 to start my business? They'll just kind of escort you out the front door and say, come back when you got a business plan, and then maybe we can talk. So it'll be something you have to have if you want to go out and get a loan. I mean, it's going to be much easier to try to get financing from whoever, angel investors, partners, anything. If you can show that you got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. So without a business plan, you really haven't gotten serious about even starting a business. Because this is your roadmap. This is going to show you where you're going to go. Now, another way you can do this, and something that you should have maybe in addition, if you have like a mind mapping tool, and we're not going to go into the details on mind mapping, but if you have a mind mapping tool, you can structure it out, and it's more visual. It's a little easier to see for yourself. Now, it's a little more difficult for somebody else to understand, because in the mind mapping, you can break things down into areas, and it'll help you understand how to set up your business plan, so that your business plan, if you do it in a mind mapping tool, then it helps you understand it better, so you can actually write it down in a format that people can see and understand also. So so you need to have a business plan so you really understand your business. Although you may feel confident, you already know everything about what your business is going to do and how it's going to function. Sitting down and writing it out is going to make a huge difference in how you see it. It's going to break out some of those minor details. It'll be beneficial. When you're looking for money, it's a business plan is precisely, defines your business. It identifies your goals and serves as, basically your company's resume. Its basic components include a market study, marketing, promotional strategy, current balance sheet, income statement, and a cash flow analysis. It helps you allocate resources properly, handle unforeseen complications, and make the right decisions, because it provides specific information in an organized format that people can see and say, okay, this is what my business is, and this is how this is why I need certain monies, and this is how I'm going to be able to repay those monies. So it's crucial if you're going to go get a loan, and it's just good for if you're going to have employees or other people involved in your business. It's good for them to be able to see that. So, one of the key things you want to have in your business plan is your vision. I would put a vision statement at the very top of exactly what you see your business as, and and where you see your business going, because it's going to be crucial for other people to understand that vision. Because if you can express and you can show that vision, you can lead people, and you can get monies. It's amazing if you can just get people to see your vision. Now, a business plan also has to be a living, breathing document. And what I mean by that is, I had a friend who was he wanted to sell watches, and on the side he was doing a little watch repair. Well, it turned out that he was spending a lot of money getting products and advertising and selling watches, but his little side operation of repairing the watches was actually, he wasn't having to do hardly anything, and he was making a lot of money on that side. And so he changed his business plan and said, well, I'm not really in the watch selling business. I'm going to focus on the repair business. And when he did that, he tripled his income because he wasn't spending so much on products. He wasn't spending so much on advertising. More people were wanting to have their watches redone, and he was able to repair, pick up watches and repair, like an older Rolex, and rebuild it and resell it, and made more money than he did off the, $50, $100, $200 watches he was trying to sell in the first place. So it really, it's really important that you understand that your business plan as your business can change, because you'll look at the numbers and say, okay, here's where I'm putting my efforts, but here's where I'm making my money. It's the 80-20 rule. 20% of your efforts will end up making 80% of your money. You find out what those are, and you're way ahead of everybody else. But if you don't keep your business plan up to date, you're not going to be able to do that. So it's usually useful to come up with a business plan, to think through what you want to do for the development of your product or service, marketing, financial projections, and more, and keep that up all the time. And then get input, as you're going over it. Then, like I said, if you can talk to somebody who is more into the financial, especially if you get hold of a CPA or somebody like that, and have them look it over and help you with some of the areas, like the finance. I mean, I'm not a big finance guy, so maybe you are, and so maybe you'll need more help on the business strategies and market strategies and competitive analysis and those areas. And I can help you in those areas, but don't come to me and say, hey, I've got a problem with trying to figure out this financial statement, because I'm going to say, go find a CPA, because I'm not a lawyer or a CPA, and I will not give that type of advice. So anyway, your business plan, is the written description of the future of your business. It's a document that describes all the whats, or the who, how, where, why, and what's of your business, and then specifically the how. That's what people want to see. They want to see, who, what, when, where, and how. How are you going to accomplish it? What is your strategy to get from A to B? So let's kind of break it down a little bit more. What's included in a business plan, and how do you put one together? Well, simply stated, a business plan conveys your business goals and the strategies you're going to use to meet them. Your organizational structure, your capital requirements, how your money is going to be spent. So the first, the first is the business concept, where you discuss the industry, your business structure, your particular product or service, and how you plan to make your business successful. The second is the marketplace section, in which you've got to describe and analyze who are your customers, where are they going to come from, how are you going to sell to them, what is it that makes them want to buy, and why would they buy from you? So these are some of the things we've talked about in some of the other videos, but this is crucial, because now you're going to put it down on paper, okay? And so you've got to know, you can have the greatest business plan in the world. It's like, I've got all these numbers, and I know exactly, and I know my finances are, but if you don't have a market strategy, you don't know who your customers are, you don't know how you're going to sell to your customers, then you really don't have a business, because there's no income going to be coming in. So your So there's, let's see. So like I said, I mean, you really need to get help from an accountant. You're going to have to. I would recommend you get some really good accounting software, because that's going to be an important part of what you're going to need is getting some good accounting software. So let's just break this down of how you're going to actually set up your business plan. Now, like I said, the first thing I would do is put a vision statement, exactly where you see that you are and how and where you see that you're going to go, because that's going to give you the focus as you're going through the other sections. You might want to go back up and revisit that, because sometimes when you're in a swamp full of alligators, you forgot that you just went out there to measure the depth of the water. So you might want to visit that business plan and your vision statement as the alligators are circling around, waiting, looking for an access to have some lunch. And believe me, if you're going into business, there are a lot of crocodiles and alligators out there that are looking for a weakness. And so your business plan is going to be your defense against the alligators or crocodiles. So it breaks down into like 7 key components for your business plan. You're going to have an executive summary. You're going to have your business description. You have your market strategies, competitive analysis, design and development plan, operations and management plan, and then your financial, all your financials. So those are the key components. Remember. So you're gonna have your vision statement up there, because that's going to kind of keep you focused on where you think you're going to go when you start, and then as you're creating each of these sections, go back up and visit that, and so you can remember that I actually did have a vision before all this crazy stuff. I've got all this planning I have to create. So you've got an executive summary. We're gonna cover these in more details. So executive summary. I just want to make sure you get this. Your business description, your market strategies, your competitive analysis, design and development plan, operations and management plan, your financials. Wow, huh? Okay, so now you probably need to take a break after that, don't you? So basically your executive summary is, who's in charge, who's making the decisions, what's your ultimate plan to are you going to have business partners? Are you going to just be a family-run business? Are you going to have employees? So you want to cover those kind of things in the executive summary, and then the business description. What is your business? Like the watch seller, it turned out that his business wasn't selling watches per se, but it was more of doing a service business, because that's where his money was being made on. So if you can think ahead of time, what is your business? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Is it, and it's not just I'm going to open a franchise. Okay, that's my business. No, because how are you going to set that up? You know, what is the real description of your business? And then market strategies. That's, you know, hugely important, because if you don't know where your market, what your market is, you're in deep trouble right off. So, as I explained in other videos, my suggestion for a market strategy is to first of all, find something you're in love with, then find somebody else who's doing it and making money, and then copy what they're doing. Not, not copy everything, but, basically model what they're doing, because if they're making money at it, they know all the ins and outs already. So, just study everything they've done and how they're marketing and how they're getting customers. And there are tools out there that, and in other videos, I show you how these tools operate. So you can go out on the internet. I mean, if they're on the internet, then basically you be like a secret shopper and go in and say, okay, how they're doing this. But most businesses are on the internet, and there are tools to show you how to see how they're getting their customers and how they're putting their ads out, where they're putting their ads, and model all that. So that you don't have to do everything from scratch. So, I mean, that is your marketing strategy. First of all, and if you're not going to model, then find out if there's even a market for you. And one way to do that is like the way the Zappos did. They wanted to see if there was a market for selling shoes online. So they went and ran some ads. They got some orders. They went down to the retail store, bought the shoes, and sent them to the customer. But, they paid more for the shoes, obviously, than they would have otherwise. But they knew they had a business model to build on. And so then they were able to expand on that and start ordering shoes or having drop ship, or, however you want to do it. So that's that's how I would do the marketing strategy section for your business plan. Model an existing business that's making money, not just, oh, I found a business out there. And it's like, well, find out if they're making any money in it. And in one of the other videos, it shows you the tools to use. Then you've got to do a competitive analysis. How do you compete with your other businesses that are doing the same thing that you're doing? Are your prices in line? Now, I don't always suggest to be the low price leader, because if you've got an existing business out there, they could put you under if you just go out and say, oh, buy from us because we're cheaper. Well, then they already know the ins and outs better than you do. They could price their products lower than you. If they've got money, they could actually sell it for less than what they're spending, just to put you out of business if you become a thorn in their side. So don't necessarily try to go out and be the low price leader, and you really don't want that reputation. I would go out there and charge a few dollars more, but then give something, a huge bonus, super service, faster service, free overnight shipping, depending on what it is. Find something that you can do that makes you worth more than the competitor, and then you can charge more and be justified and be I don't know what you know about car sales or automobile sales, but I've sold for a long time ago. I used to sell a lot of things a long time ago. So, but I sold cars for a while, and you probably know this, but the markup on a Rolls Royce is a lot more than it is on a Kia. So, I mean, you could sell 100 Kias and not make what you're going to make off on a Rolls Royce, or even a BMW, a Mercedes, an Audi, Cadillac. You know, whereas the Kia guy may have to sell a dozen Kias, and the Cadillac salesman can make the same commission selling one or two Cadillacs. So, do you want to be the Cadillac guy, or you want to be the Kia guy? Nothing wrong with Kias; they're wonderful cars, but they're in your mind, and they're trying to change this. I know, but in your mind, probably you think, oh, they're the lower priced car, and that is a market they're going after, but now they're getting better models and things. So, but in your mind, you know that, oh, this is a Cadillac, it's worth $70,000. But if it was a Kia, and they were trying to sell it for $70,000, you'd be, are you kidding? It's a Kia. So just imagine the profit margin on $70,000 compared to $17,000. So when you're setting up your business strategy and your competitive analysis, don't go out and be the low-cost leader necessarily. I mean, there may be markets, there may be some cases, but I don't recommend that. I would recommend being the Cadillac dealer and charging a little bit more, but providing an extra service. And make yourself look like the Cadillac dealer. Don't have a Kia website or a blog and expect to sell Cadillacs on it. It's just not going to work. Or Yugo, let's go really. I've been picking on Kias long enough. Let's go. Don't have a Yugo website and try to sell Cadillacs on it. Okay, if you're going to be the Cadillac, then you need to look like the Cadillac dealer. In everything you do, have the best customer service, have the best turnaround time. Be the best. Spend a little bit more, be the best, but then you can charge for that, because there are people who want that. Believe me, and they are willing to pay more for it. You can actually charge almost double what your competitors charge if you provide enough other services that people want, and you will be as in demand or more than the guy who's trying to be the low price guy, and you're making more money. So it's like the Cadillac dealer who's selling 100 cars a month, and compared to the Yugo guy who's selling 100 cars a month. I mean, so you're as in demand as the low cost one, but on every one of those Cadillacs, you're making $10,000 profit. And where if you're selling a Yugo for $5,000, you obviously are not going to make $10,000 profit. You're lucky to make a $200 profit. And so that's what I would do for competitive analysis. Now, designing your design and development plan. So this is where you really lay out, your business and how you're planning on really expanding, because you don't want to just be the one product wonder all forever, or one or two products. You want to find different markets to get into. You want to, show how you're going to be more competitive and how you're going to develop your business. But you've got to really lay it out in detail at this point, exactly how your business is going to be operating and what everybody's going to be doing. Excuse me. And Then, so I mean, well, don't need to go into a lot of detail there because that's going to be so individual. You're going to need help with that, and so you can contact me and you know, we can work that out. Same thing with your operations and your management plan. You know, how you're going to operate the business, what is your strategy, what is your structure, how's it, you know, how's the management going to work, who's going to get paid what, how, you know, you got to pay yourself. I mean, you got to set it up. So you know, you're not doing this for free, hopefully, and you can't just take a cut off the top. You know, I mean, if you're going to be setting up a business entity, you really actually got to do, you know, you have to set up your salary, and you have to publish that, because when you go to get investors, they're going to want to see, you know, well, what are you making off of this? And you can't just say, well, yeah, I was just going to take some money out of the till every once in a while, and they're going to say, well, no, we don't want to get involved with you. No, you've got to actually show that, you know, every week or every 2 weeks or every month, you know, you're getting a set salary. Now, you can also show that there's end of year bonuses, and so if your business is done really well, then you can state that there'll be an end of year bonus, and it could be 10%, 20% of your net revenues, and or however you want to structure that, but you got to show all that detail too. That's you know, so important, because that gets down into now the next part, financials, and we just we'll kind of cover that separately. So you know, because the bank. So, you know, we'll just kind of cover this now. The bank is looking primarily at your financials. You know, they want to see all that other good stuff, but they want to see the numbers. They're numbers people. So remember that. I mean, they want to see the numbers. So you've got to know and understand how much cash you need and whether the business looks financially viable. And so you're going to have somebody else look at that. And that's where you're going to have the CPA come in and look at your numbers before you go and take it to a bank. So, you know, if you've got to spend a few dollars to have a CPA look things over, it's really going to be to your advantage, because when you go to the banker, they're going to say, oh, well, you've done your homework, and okay, then we're going to give you some money. But if it looks like you just kind of pulled these numbers out of your rear end or something and just wrote them down and say, hey, you know, this is garbage. You know, we don't want to do business with companies that are not professional. So it'll pay for you in the long run. You'll be able to get more people to invest. You'll be able to get bankers to give you loans if you just spend some money with the CPA and just get your financials laid out correctly. So you know, if your financials don't pencil out, you know, the way the bank needs them, you know, your funding is a no-go. So two indicators that lenders look at your individual global cash flow. You know, this comprises of your personal cash flow. I want to do this again. So, you know, a bank is looking primarily at your financials and trying to understand whether you actually know and understand how much cash you need and whether the business looks financially viable. If your financials don't pencil out the way the bank needs them to, your funding is a no-go. Two key indicators that lenders look at are your global cash flow, which encompasses your personal cash flow, your personal debt, your business cash flow, and projections on your business cash flow, and then the business debt and the projected business debt, and your debt service coverage ratio, which is the DSCR. So there again, you're going to need a CPA to translate a lot of this. So but that indicates that your business can cover the debt it takes on. And this is crucial. You're going to get a loan or partners. Get your personal financials in order and understand your cash levers to so you speak intelligently to the loan officer about what you need in a loan or credit line. So those are the key financial things. You know, you're gonna have to you've got to go in knowing how to talk to the banker. You've got to know his language, and so these are the things you're gonna you can get them a little bit of this from a book. Have a CPA go over the financials, and you know, that's going to help a lot. So let's see. So make sure you get input at every stage of your planning from a trusted third-party advisor, attorneys, CPAs, somebody who's an expert in a business field, and I can help you on a lot of those things. So finally, just don't reinvent the wheel. You know, there are plenty of great tools available online to help you complete a well-focused and professional-looking business plan. Don't draw it up on a piece of typing paper or notebook paper. You know, look professional. Make sure you get a good template. Use some business software to do all the financials. And you'll need that software anyway to track everything in your business, because it's going to make it so much easier. They've got wonderful tools out there. So, but just realize that it's a living, breathing document. Planning never stops. So your planning business plan is an evergreen product. You've got to look at it every month. I would suggest at the end of every month you look at all your financials, do a reconciliation, and look at your business plan and see, okay, are we on plan to where we expected to be? And if you need to update the business plan or get yourself back on track, one or the other. So, you know, one of my earliest mentors told me that even the best plan is wrong as soon as you open the doors for your business. Because when you discover that some of your assumptions are incorrect or that you have unforeseen challenges to solve, you'll realize that your business plan is going to have to get updated probably pretty soon after you start your business. So that's another key item. So, but you know, if you learn how to engage in regular planning, your business will be more successful. So, you know, do something to make your business really guarantee its success is by having your business plan. And I hope this video has been very helpful to you, because you know that's the key here. I want to see you be successful, and I am here to help you be successful. And so get a hold of me and we'll work this out. Don't get a hold of me for financial statements or anything like that. I'm a CPA and I'm not an attorney, and I will not do that kind of advice. So you call up on a consultation, and it's for something like that, you just wasted your money. Okay. Because I'll tell you, you know, I'll give you a couple of hints, and then I'm going to say, that's it. Go find a CPA, go find an attorney. Okay. So save your money, and only come to me when you want business advice, and find some way to get a monthly service with this attorney. Need so if you can have something where you can have 2 or 3 visits a month, or you know, maybe 30-minute sessions or something, with an attorney. There's a lot of hungry attorneys out there, even in good law offices, and this is one of the ways they keep them busy and keep them on their toes. So you know, you're not going to get the $1,000 an hour attorney when you do this, but you know, they'll give you good legal advice. Even the guys who just came out of school, they'll find out because they have to. It's their job. So don't be afraid. Get somebody that seems a little wet behind the ears. They will give you. They have to give you good advice. So enjoy the upcoming videos, and we'll sign off in this one.